So today I'm going to give you 5 strategies so that you will know how to hire good employees for your small business. I'm Amy Walker, small business strategist, speaker, and author, and welcome to the CEO Spot. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you can get notified every time we release new content. If you're not new to the channel, I got a new cast. It's purple. Had to go with it. So, employees, getting the right people on your team. This can be, I think, one of the biggest frustrations in your business. Having the wrong team members is a killer, and it makes all the productivity goes down. It sucks the joy out of the business, and there's nothing worse for your great team members than having the wrong ones on the team. It really is a disservice to the A+ team members to have C players on the team. So I'm going to share with you the 5 steps that I do that have really made sure that my hires are the right ones, that they onboard well, that they stay, they're loyal, they have the right culture, they have the right values, and everything flows smoothly. So let's jump in and get started. Tip number 1, write a better job post. Now, I know that writing a better job post doesn't necessarily mean that you have a better team member, but here's what it does for you. You write a good job post, a lot of people will apply. It increases your pool of people that you even get to look at. I challenge you all to go on Monster or Indeed right now and look at the jobs that are posted that are similar to yours. And here's the good news. They're bad. They're super boring. They all sound the same. There's nothing that stands out about them. And so when it comes to attracting attention, all that they are doing is they're going to the bottom line and they're looking at how much do I make. And that's the only determining factor. And so if you go in and you actually write a good job post, get a compelling title that makes them want to click. And then at the beginning, I like to start off my job post with a bold statement about who we are as a company and what we do and what our culture is and what our values are and why we're a great place to work. That's my first paragraph because I want to draw them in. I want them to be reading and being like, oh, that's totally me. I would be the perfect fit for what they're looking for. This sounds like a great job. Then I'm going to go over the benefits, and then I'm going to go over the details and the requirements of the position. And then I also always like to give them one assignment to do so that I can see if they follow instructions well. It could be things like check out our website and tell me what resonated with you. And some little task that is going to allow them to be able to follow an instruction and help me weed through who's interested and who's just, pushing apply, because it's easy to do that these days. Step number 2 is to save me time and headache. When you post a good job post, what will happen is you'll get a lot of applicants because you're stood out from the crowd. So you've got a lot of applicants to go through. And it can be really overwhelming to have to go through them all. And I am quick to get rid of the ones that don't look like they're a fit at all. But once I get down to that pool of, how many are a fit, then it's like, gosh, I don't have time to do 20 interviews, that's overwhelming. So my second step is I do a group interview where I'll have all the applicants come together, and I use that as an opportunity to really go into detail about what the job is, what my expectations are, and what our culture is and what we're looking for. During that group interview, I am simultaneously trying to attract in the right ones and repel the wrong ones. And at the end of that, I ask them who is interested in having a one-on-one interview. And then I'll give them a small assignment. For example, last time I was hiring a digital marketer, I asked them to go look through our social media profile, look at our website, and give me 1 or 2 suggestions on how they felt like we could improve our marketing presence. The last time I was hiring a business coach, I had them send me a case study of one of their clients that they were currently working with. And so I'll just give them a little something to do, again, because I am trying to see who really wants the job, who is really invested and wants the job. I'm also pulling out attitude and snark. I have had people come back to me and say, I value my time too much to do work for you for free. And I'm like, awesome, cool. You don't have to. If you can't share ideas freely, then we're probably not going to be a fit to work together. That's cool. And it helps me to be able to narrow that down, figure out who is really interested. If you've ever done an interview with somebody and then you picked them, they were the one you wanted, and you went to go offer them the job and they're like, oh, you know what, I decided it's not really for me anyway. Even though in that one-on-one interview, they were like, oh yeah, I'm super interested. I think I would be a great fit for this company, and they're saying all the right things. And the reality is they're not that interested, whether it's they didn't like the actual work, or they didn't like the company vibe, or they were not in alignment with the values, or they didn't like the pay. I want to get all of that out in the front so that I only have to spend my time with the people that are actually interested. Save yourselves some time. Tip number 3, have an individual interview template. I like to talk. I like people. I like friendly people that also like to talk. And one of my faults is that when I meet somebody that I personally vibe with, we just start talking. And then at the end, I have a great impression of them, but I don't have a lot of real thorough notes for them. And so it makes it harder. So what I do is I have an interview template that I use. It's the same one I'll use for every person that I interview. That way it keeps us on focus. I make sure I ask all of the things that were important to me. And when I'm comparing applicants afterwards, because especially if I'm interviewing a lot, it's hard to remember all the details. So it gets it all right in place and all ready for me. Tip number 4, make sure they're a culture fit. When you are in the interview process and when you are calling their references, make sure that you're asking questions that are going to assess whether they're a fit with your company. When the person comes into your office, how do they engage and interact with the team? Did the team like them? Did the team remember them? Were they shy and hesitant to engage with the team? You really want to have somebody who's going to be a good fit for your culture. I lay out and spell out my culture, and I ask them about what parts of the culture they feel like resonate with them the most, and what parts are going to be challenging for them. And I watch for their reactions to that and gauge if I think they're going to be a fit, because it doesn't matter how great the skills are. If they are not a culture fit, they are going to cause problems in the vibe that you have. And you cannot underestimate the importance of having a team that's in sync, that has trust, that's invested in each other. I would take a passionate, loyal, willing to work, highly motivated team over a highly skilled team any day. Because we can build the skills. We can build the skills. But the culture is a must. So make sure they've got that and that they're going to be a fit. Tip number 5, have a skills assessment. I mentioned this briefly before, but every position that I hire has a skills assessment. Because once I've gone through the group interview, I've, checked references, done the one-on-one interview, I feel like they're going to be a good fit. The next thing we have to do is we have to check the skills and make sure that they're as good as we think they're going to be. If I'm hiring an administrative assistant, I will have them get on a Zoom meeting with one of my administrative assistants, and they will do some basic tasks, like maybe doing some things in Excel. I may give them a limited login to my Infusionsoft account, and have them go through and add some contacts and do some searches and sort some stuff. If it's hiring a business coach, I have them do reports. I'll give them case studies of clients of where they were in the beginning and what the challenges were and what the goals were, and I'll have them write up what they would do to coach that person and see how well does their advice line up, how well does it fit. If it is a marketing person, I will give them a blog post, and I will say, a marketing content person. I'll give them a blog post and I'll say, what would you do in order to promote this blog post and make it successful? And then I'll see what they send back. If it's a salesperson, we're doing role plays. So any position that I'm hiring for, I am doing a skills assessment. Now, some of you cannot do that skills assessment in-house. You can't have them come in and work with you or alongside of you. especially like in the state of California. I know this happens other places, because if you bring them in and then you don't hire them, then you have to pay workers' comp, because it's basically like you hired them and fired them. So you can find ways to assess the skills without them coming in and doing work for you. It could be having them send you a portfolio. It could be having them, make a video of themselves doing the thing that you're hiring them to do. There's ways to assess that skill, and you need to make sure that you employ them. Okay, my last tip is to have a strong onboarding process with regular assessments. You need to have a great training program to bring them in, get them really clear, get them focused. And in the beginning, you need to have regular conversations assessing their performance. Because here's what I know. We define things differently. Customer service, to me, might mean something totally different than it does to you. And if I say, we want you to have great customer service, but I'm not monitoring what you're actually saying to people and saying, when you said this the other day, that's not how I would have handled it. I would have handled it like this. I need to train people what I expect and what high performance means to me. And they need to have a scale up plan where they can see if they're overperforming, underperforming, or just performing. We all need to have that. It needs to be really transparent, and that will help you to build the type of employee that you want from day one. Were those tips helpful? If so, I would love if you would leave me a comment. Go ahead and type in the comments. Tell me which one is your favorite, and make sure that you like this video. Also, share it with somebody who's a business owner that also has the same challenge, because I promise you, hiring can be challenging. If you haven't done it yet, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we release new content. If you'd like to join a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, head over to the CEO Spot. It's my private Facebook group, and it's a great place to ask questions, connect with other entrepreneurs, and just keep the conversation going in a more interactive space. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips have been really helpful, and good luck on your next hire.